Hey guys, new video here. I want to make a quick recap video of the VPN policy changes that hit today. I'll throw up this post by the community manager on the screen so you can read that yourself and kind of take that in and kind of interpret that how you want. But in case you're out of the loop, Amazon Game Studios has disabled VPN connections from connected to Western Lost Ark servers. So anyone in the world using like an exit lag, NordVPN, whatever, they can't connect. I mean, even me, I live in Chicago, I can connect just fine. If I turn on VPN, I'll get hit by this error message and I won't be able to log into the game, okay? On the screen here, the footage that you're seeing is Niria Village, and it is interesting because every berserker and sorcerer that you see behind me running back and forth left and right is a bot. Okay, you can look at their names, you know, they have like these crazy like jumbled letters, right? Nobody names their characters like that, and they all move in a very specific manner. And so I'll come back to this later because this is very like you know, very important to the core of this video, right? It's all about the bots, right? Changes to fix the botting situation. So the changes today affects three groups. The first group is people who are using it to play from a country or region that they can't play the game at all, right? So for example, I have some friends that live in either like Belgium or the Netherlands, and the reason they can't play Lost Ark there is because of like legislation that has made any type of loot box or gambling event in a game kind of illegal, right? So you can't play Lost Ark there through Steam or anything like that. So what do you want to do if you really like the game and you want to play? Well, you got to use the VPN. Okay, and then the VPN will allow you to play there. For the most part, they're playing fairly, and this is kind of devastating because what's going on is, like, imagine you log in, you played 1,000 hours, maybe you have a massive amount of collections done, you spent so much time on these collections, you got all your Makoko seeds, you got all your skill points, you got all your Ignia tokens, and then one day you just cannot play anymore. You can't even access your account, right? And that would really suck, especially if you spend some money on the account too, right? This can be made even worse because there's a lot of things in this game that are time gated, and missing those time gates can be like can set you back quite a bit. For example, like let's say that you are a guild leader, and because of this change, there's no way for you to log in for a certain amount of time. Your guild leadership would actually get transferred to someone else, right? There's also a lot of materials that have an expiration date, things like that. So it gets really, really messy if you can't play the game. A note about like kind of VPNs in my personal Lost Ark experience, right, is that I don't really like this change overall because, you know, part of the reason I started playing this game is because I was told many years ago that there was a super easy way to set up a VPN, right, called exit lag, to play in Russia, and that you wouldn't get banned. It wasn't like really against TOS, right? You just had to do it to be able to play on that realm. And so I did it. It took me about 20 minutes. It was super easy to get started, and that experience is a core reason why I'm a huge supporter of the game. You know, I might not even be playing this game right now if it weren't for those few play sessions in Russia on the Russian servers via this VPN. Okay, nowadays, you know, I play on the West and it's no problem. I don't need a VPN. My ping is really good. I've spent about like $1,300 on the game, and I imagine there's a lot of people like me who are looking for a fun game and are more than willing to you know, support it financially, but like, you need to like get those people in, right? So blocking off a huge number of people from playing your game is bad both for the developer in terms of like, you know, profits and having the resources to continue growing the game, and then also it's bad for the community because, you know, friends can't play together and you're losing player base, right? MMOs really depend on like, how does the game look, you know, how's the player base, you know, how good is the player base, right? Is it growing, is it shrinking? You know, nobody wants to play a dead game. Okay, the other group of people, besides people who are just using the VPN to log in from a different country, is people that were using services like I just mentioned, like exit lag, to make their ping better, right? There's like hundreds of reports of like Oceanic or Southeast Asia players, and they're saying that they're shaving off like 40-50 milliseconds off of their ping, which is massive, right? As it's almost like, you know, every Argos I run like 10 Argoses a week now, and there's always that one guy that dies to the pizza every single time, just uses up all the reses, right? Usually a sorceress or a gunslinger, and usually they're like, you know, there's a little bit of ping, right? Look where my body was, I was in the pizza, right? And that could be because of ping. It really could be, right? So this is also prominent in like PvP, where advantages in ping can kind of like make the game playable, I guess, for some people from other countries, and maybe not like a frustrating mess, right? And I don't mean like just frustrating because you're bad, but I'm talking about like actual ping in PvP is very, very important. So for the most part, you know, for most people, this is just kind of like a nerf to your gameplay, this change, and it doesn't affect your ability to play because you can just turn off the VPN, right? Lots of regions can just do that and they can still log on, they can play, no problem. And they have said, in case you're wondering on the forums, that like Oceanic and Southeast Asia servers are not currently planned. They have no plans for it, and I don't think they will, right? Because like the costs of that, I'm sure there's like, you know, different reasons for that, but you know, anyone holding out hope that they will get like home servers soon, it's probably not going to happen. And even then, even if you do get Southeast Asian or Oceanic servers, like, are you really going to swap over, or expect those players to swap over when they're fully invested on the Western servers, right? Especially with all the time invested, all the money invested. Like, if I had to start over and redo all the collections, I'd probably just quit the game, right? So that's probably not happening. So that's not really an option for them either, right? So that's another group that's kind of affected. And then the last group is the bots. Okay, let's talk about the bots real quick. So, you know, fish prices, you look at them, they're like 18 gold now. They're like 8 gold a day ago, right? Fish prices are going crazy after this change, and there's a lot to talk about. I'll try to keep it brief because I don't want to talk on every single aspect of these bots, because you can look at like these massive forum threads and these massive red threads. If you look at resources like Steam charts, if you're interested, you can kind of estimate that like maybe like 100,000 players just got deleted after this change was implemented, which isn't that bad, because like if you have like a 500k peak, you know, losing 20% of your player base to bots is actually less than we expected. You know, some people are saying that there's like 200,000 bots, 250,000 bots. It's kind of crazy. But in my experience as like a gamer, right, like playing the game, how do the bots affect me? Well, bots are like mostly negative in the way that they interact with like my style of playing the game. Like if I matchmake a lower tier dungeon or guardian and there's a chance that there will be an AFK bot, or you know, it's gonna make the experience extremely frustrating, right? When one person's not like actually playing the game and it's a group activity. So time is probably the most important resource in Lost Ark, and anything that wastes your time could be like a quit moment for a lot of players, where that player's just gone. They're not coming back because of that one bad experience they had. And believe it or not, I've heard a lot of bad experiences where people just like, you know, I'm done for the day. Like it's so frustrating. You know, there's bots like, you know, they're AFKing, they're holding me hostage in the challenge dungeon. You know, they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff that just make the gameplay experience, the things that you kind of have to do every day, not fun, right? Additionally, like everything that you earn yourself from playing the game becomes a lot less valuable because of the bots, right? This is economic stuff. It incentivizes cheating as well, right? In the forms of like RMTing, right, where you're buying gold not from Amazon, which is available and within TOS, but from like other sources. And I'll talk more about that in a second. Or maybe people they see that how easy it is to get this many bots, and they go, you know what, I can also bot, and maybe they run a less sophisticated bot where they just use their computer. And it's like people running infinite challenge dungeon when they go to bed or something, right? It's just a bot running the dungeon over and over and over, right? So it gives people like ideas like this. Performance wise, you know, the zones are laggier. After they made this change with the VPN stuff, my game performance did feel a lot more like one-to-one, a lot more smooth. But your results may vary. You know, I run a pretty high-end PC, you know, 3090, 11900K, all that good stuff. So I did feel like a very big change. So if I felt it, then people with lower spec PCs will probably feel it as well. So that was, you know, these are some ways where like I think about like bots, like is it like, how does it affect my experience? And it's almost always bad, right? So the goal is to get rid of the bots, and they have done that to some extent, but as you see on the screen up here, like there's always going to be a way, right? So let's talk about how bots actually relate to the VPNs, right? So bots aren't just like someone with a bunch of PCs, right? That's like super expensive. Nobody has like that many PCs in their house. So usually what it is there's like hundreds of these Steam accounts, right? Because the game is free. Lost Ark is a free to play game. Big asterisk on that, but like, yeah, it is a free to play game. And so basically people take like one machine and they run like hundreds, if not thousands of bots, right? Now the problem with that is your computer has like an IP address, right? So if you run like these thousands of bots, people are gonna know about that, right? These people aren't dumb. They can see that like there's one IP with like these hundreds of accounts logged in. So it's like, wait a minute, that's obviously not right. We're just gonna ban that, and then good to go, right? Those bots are just deleted. But what happens is, to get around this, what people are gonna do is there are, you know, VPNs are really, really cheap, right? Like you can, you know, I'm sponsored by NordVPN, stuff like that, and I look at the price, I'm like, okay, if that can be used on multiple devices and like with multiple users, and it's that cheap, then the barrier entry to use a VPN with each of your accounts is pretty much no barrier at all. So they're going to use like, you know, proxies, VPNs, so that each little bot on each account has a different IP. So Amazon can't just like booty blast one IP address and get rid of 1,000 bots, right? They have to find all 1,000 of them and somehow get rid of them, right? And then it's cheaper because like you're sharing the VPN service across all your bots. So, you know, the money that you make from these 100 bots is vastly outweighing the small monthly fee for the VPN, right? So if you don't have that option, right, if your VPN connection is now banned, you're kind of in trouble, right? Because each account that used to have a separate IP address, they don't anymore. And you have to now find a way to give every account or every few accounts a different IP, right? Because it is possible that like in your house, let's say you play Lost Ark, maybe a sibling plays Lost Ark, maybe your parents team plays Lost Ark, but that's only a few people, right? There's not going to be like 20 people in the house playing Lost Ark. That'd be ridiculous. So what this does is you have to find a way to get like household IPs, right? Which are super expensive, I'm guessing, right? Because like, how do you even do that? I don't even know. I have to look more into this. I've just been reading Reddit threads. And so like, obviously you and me, we can do that. That's not a problem because we just live in our own house. But for someone trying to run a bot farm, they have to kind of like think outside the box and come up with a new solution. So unfortunately, you know, this does affect people who use the VPN service for legitimate reasons. Like let's say you have a shitty ISP, right? And your routing from your house to whatever servers that Amazon uses is really bad, okay? And that's not your fault. It's just like the ISP's fault. You know, it sucks. And so you had to use the VPN like talked about before to make your ping bearable, and now you can't. And that's you know, if you've gotten used to a certain amount of ping over the last 2.5 months, and now suddenly you add 50 ping to that, that's not going to feel good, right? So, you know, but you can't rely on your ISP to fix the routing. So, you know, a real big problem there. Now, I'm wondering like if a lot of you guys are maybe like oblivious, maybe some of you guys watching this video don't even play the game, and you're wondering like, you know, why are there so many bots? Is that crazy? Like, why are there so many bots right now in this game, right? It's a little ARPG, you're just killing some mobs. Why is that so important? Well, there are so many bots because there is an incredible demand for gold. Okay, gold is like the most important resource in this game. You know, I've said it in other videos how like the pressure that players put on themselves and like the FOMO that they feel, that Western players feel, it is on another level. I can't even describe to you what I've kind of seen in my stream and how people like talk about the game and stuff. I could really make a video all on the topic of FOMO and like the pressure to keep up, right, in the West. But I won't because it's like kind of a negative topic, right? Actually, for example, today I spent $200 on honing, okay? And I was like, you know, I want to get this item level. I'm gonna spend $200. And when I went to trade the $200 in crystals over to gold, I was like really surprised that you only get 50,000 gold. I was like, what the heck? That's not that much gold. 50,000 gold, basically, in my circumstances, from my results I did on stream, 50,000 gold is about 2.5 item levels. Okay, it's crazy how expensive this stuff. And to give you a kind of barometer, the average player who can do, let's say they're 1370, they can do an Argos, they'll make like maybe like 900 gold. Okay, if they can do an Argos P3 on one character, they will make 2.7 thousand gold, right? So like it's very little gold generation right now, but you need a lot of gold if you want to continue progressing your character, right? You don't have to, but this is just like the reality that we have right now because we haven't caught up to the Korean version yet. So if you look at the bot gold rate, right? You've gotten messages from it, whispers, you've gotten letters from it, you have people in chat telling you what the rates are. The bot gold rate is about 2 to 3 times more value. So let's just say for that $200, if you were to get 50,000 from Amazon, you are more than likely to get either double, triple that from another source, right? So of course, people are incentivized to spend and get the most gold that they can, right? A lot of people say, hey, you know, if you're a whale or like you have a lot of money, why not just buy it naturally through the game, right? Why not? Like you just buy it naturally. You have the money, and it's not really like that, right? Because even if you're like a millionaire or something, let's say you want to buy like a Coke, like a Diet Coke or something from the store, and the store right next door, right, has like self checkout, and they're a third of the price, right? And they're like always like really in your face and stuff, like flashy lights and stuff. It's not that hard to go to the cheaper source, right? People aren't dumb. So, but on the reverse, I'll make a quick note that on the reverse, I do think that if there weren't so many steps between like the Steam store to gold, there would be less, you know, incentive to use the bots. And what I mean by that is like, let me tell you the steps you go through when you buy gold from Lost Ark from Amazon, right? So you gotta open up another browser with like the little Steam pop-up comes up, right? And then you gotta add funds first, right? You gotta link the account, add funds, and after you add funds, you gotta go back to the original transaction. You gotta authorize that transaction, go through the payment. Maybe it's like your credit card or your PayPal, and then it's gonna like go through. And then now you have the crystals in your account. And then after you have the crystals in your account, you need to convert the crystals into a buy order that goes crystals to gold. And then after you put that buy order, you got to put in how much you want. There's another interface there, and then you wait, because it's not automatic. There needs to be a sell order from the other side to match yours. So you wait, and then you don't get it all at once. You get it in increments as the buy and sell orders match each other, right? It's a nice little economy thing there. And then you get the gold. And so there's like all these sets. It's like super annoying. And then sometimes I can totally understand for a lot of players, like you don't want to type in like the wrong amount, or like, because you have to set the value of gold you get for crystals yourself. There's a suggested price, but you don't know if that's fair or not. You see all these, like all this information on the left side of the screen. It's crazy. So that is like a moment where someone will be like, you know, why wouldn't I just like go to a website, right? I'm guessing like you just pay the money, boom, they probably just mail it to you, right? Or they walk to you in game, boom, here's all the gold right away, right? So obviously don't do it because you're gonna risk your account. But like honestly, like I think this would be a lot better if they made it easier to buy gold in the game. Okay, that's just my opinion. Okay, so also with like the easy use thing, it kind of reminds me of like, you know, when I was a kid, I used to pirate a lot, like Napster, LimeWire, Kazaa, BearShare, right? Like a bunch of viruses on my parents' computers because of that. But I digress. So I used to pirate, not because like I thought I was like cool being a pirate. It's because I didn't have a source. Like you couldn't just go get HBO, right? There wasn't like these streaming services. You had to like make your parents like buy it for the TV, right? And so if there was only an easier alternative where you could just like give them the money and get the product, you'd be more than willing to pay for it. And that's kind of the same with the Steam store. The Steam store kind of sucks in its interface with gold, and it's really confusing for the average person, in my opinion, right? So if they were to just make it easier, they would cut out that thought of like, oh, you know, like these gold websites, there's like so many of them spamming you all the time, and they say like, you know, in the messages like gold delivery in like 1 minute. Oh my god, just, you know, so they could seriously do something about that. But I imagine that's like a huge like back end fix that probably won't be coming anytime soon. So ending note, I guess I've been rambling on a little bit. It is technically against TOS, according to Amazon, to use a VPN. Okay. But they're not banning for it as of right now, because they understand all the cases where someone would use it legitimately, right? It's more of a letter of the law versus spirit of the law. Like, what is that rule designed to prevent, and what is that rule, like, what is actually the purpose of that rule? And that is obviously to probably combat bots and things like this, right? So they don't want to, and they also don't want to avoid having to answer every what if question and deal with all this gray area. So although this step right here is not enough to completely stop the botting, right? You know, a really stubborn person will absolutely find like so many different ways to have workarounds, right? People are really smart. It's a losing battle for Amazon because they can't keep dedicating resources and personnel to fighting this, right? Because there are probably thousands of bot farms around the world, like, and they make a lot of money from this. Whereas Amazon, it costs them money to like stop this, right? And then the results are very long term, and they don't know if they're actually like, if it's actually helping the game or not, right? So they just can't win against the botters. So if the game does reach a point though where changes like this, and maybe more in the future, make the bots like not profitable, then the bots will disappear, right? But there has to be that equilibrium between people wanting to buy gold, that needs to go down, right? Or are incentivized to buy gold from third party, that needs to go down. And then they need to put these barriers in place where it makes it prohibitively expensive for the botters to find workarounds, right? And when that happens, then we'll probably see all the bots disappear, right? But I'm not thinking that that's coming anytime soon, right? They'll still be around, because like there'll always be some people that are trying to like test out, like, okay, what if I can find a workaround that's really cheap and efficient and works at scale, right? And get around these security measures. So we'll probably have to wait a few weeks to see how this turns out, and we'll have to see if there's any more policy changes. In the meantime, you know, I hope you guys are really enjoying the game despite all the bots, and hopefully Amazon Game Studios takes us in the right direction, right? Going to, like, we have Vault 10 coming up, and beyond that, you know, new classes, all that good stuff. Great content coming out, you know, aside from this drama stuff here. So if you've gotten this far, you can like, comment, and subscribe to the video. And I stream every day on Twitch, twitch.tv/QTalk_. So maybe I'll see some of you guys there. Okay, thanks for watching my video, guys. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye.